girly girl. What you want to do?
It's another time to choose for you.
You could go out and paint the town or put on your jammies and hunker down. Here's some thoughts to help make up your mind. Let's get to it, the answer you will find. When you consider your feet, which would you choose? Are slippers or heels your favorite shoes? And what about makeup or doing your hair? If you hang out with us, you won't have to go there. If you'd prefer comfy sweats to Spanx, to all other plans, just say no thanks. Come snuggle up, grab a blankie, and then you'll be all ready for a girls' night in. Girls' night in. Hey, Sunflower.
Hey, Mom.
Girly girl, for those people who are not looking at us right now, although you can,
You can look.
because we're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube, people.
Girls in the Pod.
Girls' night in the pod.
Girls, hello. Girls Night in the Pod.
Girls
Don't
in.
put the other one in. I don't even want to know what would pop up on that.
Don't.
Girls Night in the Pod. That's right. For people out there who are not watching and are listening to us, baby, what you wearing today?
Well, I squeezed my booty into my wedding dress.
Your wedding gown.
My wedding gown. And you've got the sweet, sweet rustle of the 80s puff sleeves, 90s puff sleeves.
Get a load of this.
ASMR.
Hear that?
Puff sleeves ASMR.
ASMR with my puff sleeve. People, we are doing a spontaneous, spur of the moment, got to get you in there before you might want to watch it, of Father of the Bride, the 2022 version.
Bonus episode.
Bonus episode. This just dropped on HBO Max on Thursday. We went ahead and watched it.
Yep.
With your dad.
With
With
my
your honey
dad
bun and your dad.
Yeah, and we figured it was so perfect that it's coming out, and they probably aligned this on purpose, Father's Day weekend. So we were like, let's go ahead for all the amazing fathers out there that we know and love and do a Father's Day bonus episode.
That's right. So this is the bonus episode means it's very short. So we're going to talk really quickly, and our goal is to no spoiler alerts.
Right. More of a review than like a whole synopsis.
Yes. This is, do you want to spend your time to watch this movie? And look, what do you have on your feet there, sister?
We both have our little white tennies. I've got some Reeboks. She's got some Pumas. And it does pay a little homage to the 90s Father of the Bride. As we know, Annie wears her dad's sneakers with her wedding dress, which is so sweet.
Guys, listen, I don't want you to think that this bonus episode is going to ever replace us doing an actual full-length one on Father of the Bride with Steve Martin. It won't. We will do that because we're obsessed with that movie and the second one, which we know is a derivative of the Liz Taylor, Spencer Tracy original Father of the Bride, which is based on, here I'm going to put on my glasses, is based on a book by Edward Streeter. Now, Matt Lopez was the one that did the screenplay for the one that just dropped on Thursday. With Andy Garcia is the one who plays the dad, Billy. And his wife is played by Gloria Estefan.
Oh, did not realize that's who that was.
Serially.
I know. Jane the Virgin fans would be mad at me right now.
I'm serious. I was going to say something about that. We're going to connect back to that in just a minute.
Okay.
Sweet Sophie, which is the daughter who is getting married, is played by Adria Arjona.
So she's apparently in Morbius as well. I have not seen it.
This sweet girl is in my movie that I'm going to do. It's going to be one of my choices. Life of the Party with Melissa McCarthy. So anyway, we've got the little supporting cast of characters, which, just total side note. I thought this was fascinating. This absolutely precious grandmother, I guess, the abuela, has never acted in another thing.
We kept looking at her. We were like, why do we recognize her? We love her. Hasn't been in anything else.
No.
So maybe we know someone in real life that she reminds us of.
Elena Eileen, do you want to know what I thought?
What?
It gives me hope.
for what?
Maybe my chance of stardom is still out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I can play the old grandmother.
For sure.
I love it. Maybe someday they'll do a remake of the Titanic and I can be the old lady that throws it in the ocean.
There you go.
These sleeves, really seriously, guys, I had my dress when I got married. Thanks, baby. This whole generation, our whole claim to fame was puffy sleeves, which you have now told me
are back in style, which makes me sad because I did consider wearing your dress, but I was like, it's like too out of style at this point, but now it's fully back and I totally could have worn your dress if I had just been patient and waited until I was an adult.
And I think all the sequins and the fact that it's yellowing would have just added to the ambiance of your special moment.
Well, you can restore that yellowing, but
I guess so. Anyway, friends, because we did such a quick turnaround, I do not have all of the information, but I will say the supporting cast, like I said, there's a sister who's played by Isabella Merced, who's Cora, and she is a fashion designer. Mm-hmm. Sophie, the young woman who's getting married, is
a lawyer.
A lawyer, yes. The story parallels the Steve. We're going to go with the Steve Martin version because that's probably the one that most people have seen. Mm-hmm. In the fact that Billy, in this case Andy Garcia, owns his own business.
Right. Yep. Just like Steve Martin's character.
And Gloria Estefan's character
is an interior designer. Which is like Nina.
Like Nina. That's right.
Georgia Nina.
So there are some things. Elena, what are some striking differences?
Well, one really big one is that this family is Cuban. Before, in the previous Father of the Brides, both families were white. So it's really cool to see some diversity up in here and switch up the messaging a little bit.
Yeah.
Another big aspect is that it's two sisters. In the That's 90s true. One, I'm not sure about the Liz Taylor. It's been so long since I've seen it. But 90s Father of the Bride, it's Annie and then her really younger brother. So different sibling dynamics, different, like the fiance's job's a little different. This time he works for a nonprofit.
You know what else? In the 90s version, it's just this really small family. Mm-hmm. Not so here.
Yeah, this time, of course, like they've got a huge family that wants to come in and support and is so excited. And so, yeah, definitely different from the 90s version.
Right. So the premise is sort of the same. She comes home.
Another big difference is that the parents are getting divorced.
Oh, talk about that.
And I guess we can say that because they tell you right at the beginning.
Oh, they tell you from the get-go.
Right. So that's a huge difference because in the previous two, it's like, yes, the father's still kind of a stickler and there's like a power struggle with the mom and the dad. But this time it's like, I don't know if it's because we're in 2022 now or what, but the mom's like, you are a jerk and I'm not living with it anymore. We're getting a divorce. So the night that they're going to tell everyone they're getting a divorce is when the daughter's like, before they're able to say it, the daughter's like, I'm engaged. So then they're like, well, dang it. Now we're just going to have to hang on to this secret until the wedding's over because we don't want to ruin anything. So yeah, that's another big key component.
That's huge. Mm-hmm. Totally different than the Steve Martin version. Twist on it. I love the fact that the family is big. There's a lot of really funny characters and moments within that. So the premise is a little bit different. So they're going at it from the standpoint of how do we keep this together and try and show that we're still a united family because nobody else knows. The daughters don't know. The grandmother doesn't know. Only Ingrid and Billy, Gloria Estefan and Andy Garcia, know that they're having marital issues. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Just as we said in our last episode, it is a little hallmarky in the fact that we found ourselves going, you know what I think might happen? Mm-hmm. And I would say 80% of the time we were right. Still delightful. Did you think it was delightful?
I loved it. And I went in because Father of the Bride, the 90s Father of the Bride, is my favorite movie of all time.
Is it?
Yes.
Of all time? That's your very favorite?
It's my Desert Island movie.
Gotta take it with you.
Part 1 and part 2. I see them as all one movie.
I do too. We'll talk about that.
And we'll have an episode there. But
so will.
All that to say, I came in like, all right, this is, a remake or a readaptation of my favorite movie. Like, is it gonna make the cut? And I loved it. I had no issue with it. Like every aspect.
It's just different enough. Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting?
And it wouldn't have been as good if they had just done the same exact kind of family and same storyline. Like I think the differences made it stronger.
As a matter of fact, let's be honest. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I was at the Y and saw the ad come on for this. And I'm not going to lie, I immediately got offended. And I would get offended. I don't care if my favorite actors of all time were playing the lead roles. I would have been offended because I'm like, you don't touch it. Don't touch. I wonder if the original people,
Yes.
the Liz,
right. Liz Taylor fans
were angry about the 90s
Steve Martin.
version. I
Yeah.
can believe that, right? Same thing about, like, I was getting married when The Father of the Bride 1 came out, and I was pregnant when Father of the Bride 2 came out. So very precious to my heart. And I was afraid it wouldn't deliver. And people, this is delightful.
It's so good.
It really is. So let me just tell you, because, I'm now obsessed. 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, let's go.
There's only 32 critics have come in so far because it's such a new movie, but 81% positive, and crowd 68%. Just a little delightful. Now, I will say, Elena, I'm going to read you this review.
Okay.
And I want to know what you think of this.
All right.
There's way more plot to this Father of the Bride than necessary, but the unique cultural details add fresh flavor, and the big emotional buttons at the movie's end are as effective as ever. That's from Noel Murray from the Los Angeles Times. And I like that about there's more plot than necessary. I did think there were a couple twists and turns where I was like, I was just getting in the groove and now you threw that in. But it didn't make me mad.
Yeah, where I would kind of agree with that is I think there were a couple moments where there were certain details that popped up that in my mind I was like, that's going to come up again, and then it didn't.
Yes.
So I was like, what was the point of that? I guess maybe it was just like to add some comedy or whatever. Like there's a whole thing with someone allergic to shrimp, and I was like, they're going to end up eating shrimp, and nothing ever happened with it.
Where's the shrimp?
I know, I'm like, where's the anaphylactic shock? Where's
Get
the
out
EpiPen?
that EpiPen. We need a trip to the emergency room. Stat. Nope. So anyway, what a sweet movie it is. Just lighthearted, sweet escapism. Hello, like we were talking about last time. And obviously acclaimed by our friends in the public as well as the critics. Now, Elena, I have a question for you. What'd you think of The Wedding Coordinator?
Okay, well, this is another parallel I did want to talk about. In the 90s Father of the Bride, the wedding coordinator is Frank, who's played by Martin Short. And I will say, yes, he is so hilarious, but he is definitely poking fun at a lot of other cultures. And we never know, like, really what his culture is supposed to be. But I felt like because of that, with this parallel in this movie, they switched it up to where instead of it's like the doofy foreigner like it was last time, it's like, oh, this stupid American. This time, like with this blonde, so it's the wedding coordinator is this like blonde girl. She plans everything on her phone. All she needs is her phone to plan the wedding, and she has this like hilarious assistant named Kyler. Which, hello, I love that name. Not to use for myself, but
that's so funny because I thought it was Tyler.
It's Kyler.
Kyler.
I was reading the caption.
Okay.
But anyways, so she's a little manic. She's a little out there. And so I liked how they kind of flipped the roles there with this 2022 version.
There's older generations in this, which I find thrilling. The older I get, the more I just want to put them in my pocket and take them home, right? Music. Let's talk about the music.
Oh my gosh, the music. So I love too because the music in Father of the Bride, there's a lot of jazz, which I love. I listen to the soundtrack all the time. Was listening to it today while I was getting my wedding dress on.
Of the 90s? The 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I love that in this, it's still a lot of jazz, but a lot with like a Cuban twist.
Yes.
So,
oh my goodness, the music was.
It's
I
so
thought
good.
It was very good.
I'm gonna listen to it while I study.
That last song. Never mind. We're not going to talk about it.
I did add the last song to the playlist because it's so good.
It is
so good. I found it on Spotify. So guys, listen to our playlist. It's fun. And if you want to hear the song we're talking about, go take a look. It's the latest one on the playlist.
Is it underneath?
So I made us a link tree.
Okay.
A link tree for our bio. So all of our links you can just find there.
I wanted to ask you just on a personal note, since your anniversary is coming up, you guys are going on a little weekend. Is there anything specifically from that day that you would have changed?
That was my question for you.
Out of Dodge! Oh my gosh, that is. Of course it was.
Question
that was your question for me.
Yes.
Y'all, I'm telling you, we do not write anything down.
No.
Y'all probably wish we would.
Yeah.
What I write down is only my opinions when we watch the movie. It's I don't write down questions. I don't write down, I write down the stats, but that's it. Is there anything that you would want to change?
Yes. I have an answer in mind.
Okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings.
No, it has nothing to do with anything you did.
Okay.
So I was just thinking about this because one of my friends recently, she told me that she walked down the aisle to the theme from the Princess Diaries. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so smart to walk down the aisle to a movie, the theme from a movie that's really important to you. So I wish that I had walked down the aisle to Annie's theme from Father of the Bride.
Oh, I couldn't have handled that.
But that just fits, and it's satisfying, and it's such a last episode you used the word summative, and I love that word. I feel like it's just so summative because whenever I thought about my wedding day growing up, I always pictured Father of the Bride, and it's just always how I've imagined my wedding.
Wow.
That
would have been cool.
What about you?
I have a lot because it's been so long, right? Not about the man I chose was the right man. So that's all that matters, right?
That's at the end of the day.
My mom was very insistent that I have the wedding in their church, in their Catholic church, the church that I've been confirmed in. And it was not an attractive interior. And I didn't realize that you could have your priest at any place, because I was married in a Catholic ceremony, that we could have chosen a different venue.
Yeah.
So I'm bummed about that's my main one. And the other thing is we only had an organist, and it wasn't like a pipe organ. It was like a regular organ. And I wish I had had something bigger than that.
You're
as
talking
I
about for the
processed out.
ceremony?
Yeah, because some people do trumpet voltaire at the end, and I love that. But anyway, other than that, our reception was not nearly long enough. As a matter of fact, at the end, you know this story?
I think I know it, but you say it.
At the end of the reception, it was winding down, and Dad went up and said, "Kira, go ask them if we can extend it. I'll pay whatever it takes," because we were all having such a great time, and they couldn't because they had a wedding coming in after us. So I wish we had done a nighttime wedding so that we could have rolled into the evening. Again, I was 22.
Yeah.
What did I know?
And I was 22.
Yes. We were young brides. Elena, bottom line, yes or no on this movie? Where would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Okay. For me, and like I said, and I've talked about this in our previous episodes, I love the light and fluffy. I love the stuff that makes me feel good. So I would definitely say 100% yes, watch this movie. And I would rate it an 8.
Whoa.
Because I could see this being like The Other Woman, where when I'm sad or feeling down, I'd want to watch
Pop this in.
Yeah.
But buy it this time instead of renting it every month.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's on HBO Max. So it's actually, if you have.
It's so kind of them to put stuff on there where you're readily access to it. Now, here's a follow-up question. Should they download HBO Max if they don't have it just so they can see it?
Get the free trial, baby. And let me tell you, there's some good stuff on HBO Max.
There is some really good stuff.
Sex and the City, Friends, The Nanny. I mean,
there's some good stuff. HBO Max, we'd love
sponsor us.
I would say the same thing. I would give it like a 7. Totally enjoyable, worth some popcorn and candy. Absolutely lovely little fun and family friendly.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything vulgar. I don't even know if there's any curse words in it.
No, there's not. And I will say, no, I'm not going to say that. Maybe we'll talk about it in the other Father of the Bride. But thank you for tuning in for our quick little bonus episode. Anything else there, my lovey?
No, I didn't have anything else to share.
We will see you guys next time when we do You Don't Own Me. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Girls' Night.